Hello, children. It's Linda again. Miss Linda here. We're going to do the rest of Joseph's story. And I'm going to add a little to the story that you didn't know before. Now, you remember where sent Joseph was put in the pit, and he was, instead of being put in a pit, actually they sold him to slaves. These slaves were from Egypt. They were Egyptians. Now, of course, they had to go back home to their father, where they had taken Joseph's coat and ripped it and told their father that apparently something had happened to Joseph and wild animals or something must have got him, but they brought his coat back, okay? And it's in your little story for Genesis 37, 44 to 45 is what we're doing right now, chapter 37. But it's through those chapters, actually, 37, 44, and 45. It talks about Joseph. If you read on through there, if your mommy and daddy will read to you, they'll learn a lot about what all happened during this time. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, okay? So, Joseph was taken to Egypt, and God took care of him while he was there. He didn't leave him. God stayed right there with him. Now, the king of Egypt saw how wise Joseph was and how hard he worked. So he made him a very important leader. He put Joseph in charge of all the grain in the land. Now, where Joseph originally came from, they started having famines, and that means they were very low on food, and they was very scarce on grain because it just didn't grow. It's like farmers now, if they don't get enough rain, stuff dries up and it doesn't grow, so they have to have the rain and the sunshine and the good weather too. It all plays a part in growing plants for you to eat and having bread and all that stuff. So anyway, this is what was happening. So during this time, Joseph's brothers came. Their dad Isaac sent them to, yes, no, yes, his father Isaac sent him to, sent the brothers to Egypt to get some food. Now, they hadn't seen their brother for years. They had no idea what Jacob looked like. They didn't know Jacob was still alive. They thought Jacob had died. But they did not know when they came to Egypt that they would find their brother. So they were afraid when they saw Joseph. They didn't know what was going to happen, especially after they sold him, because they sold him to the Egyptians as a slave. So Joseph had a few things that he had his brothers go back and do, and then finally one day he let them know who he was, and he forgave his brothers for what they did to him. He gave them food that they needed. And then when it was all said and done, his whole family moved to Egypt, and his father was so happy. Can you imagine how happy Jacob's father was to see him, because he thought his son was dead, but he now sees his son, and he was so happy. And that was the end of a good story, So it started out bad, but it ended up good. And one of the reasons was because Joseph trusted God and knew God was with him. And God wasn't going to let anything bad happen to Joseph until he was ready for something to happen. God just didn't let it happen. So there's lots of things he went through, turmoil that Joseph went through, troubles, I should say, so you understand that. He went through a lot of troubles going through what he did to get where he was, but God was with him, and God showed him it was going to be okay. So God tells us to forgive others, and we have to do that so God forgives us. So don't forget that. Even your worst enemy, you have to forgive them. Even if they don't forgive you, you can still forgive them, because they have to deal with not forgiving you. You don't. You've forgiven them, you went on with your life just like I have done in the past, forgiving people for treating me bad or being mean to me. I just go on with my life, and I'm happier because I'm not letting that build up in me, and it doesn't make you a happy person. So you just let go of it and let God take care of it. And he does. He takes care of it a lot, and a lot better than we can do it. So as I said, Joseph forgave his brother. Now, what I want you to learn to do is say, I will forgive others. So let's say, I will forgive. Just like, I will forgive others. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to forgive them. because you don't need to have all of that. Hatred is what it really is. And madness, because you're mad because that person hurt you. Gotta get rid of it. Give it to God. Let God take care of it. He'll take care of it. Trust me, mad. Now the song we have today is Cast Your Cares on Him, and we're going to cast our cares on God. So you just say, God, I'm giving my problems to you. Please help me. And God will take care of them. May not always get the answer right then, because it might be taking time, but God will take care of it. You got to trust Him. It's His time, not our time. That's how God works. Now this song is really slow, and we'll do some of these. Let me go over the words with you. It's like, cast your cares on the Lord. So we're going to go, cast your cares on the Lord. He will never sustain. He will sustain you. He will never let the righteous fall. And you're the righteous one. When you're the one who's doing right, that makes you the righteous one to God, because you're doing something right. Cast your cares unto the Lord. He will sustain you. He will never let the righteous fall. Then the next verse goes, we get so worried in such a hurry. God seems so far away. When cares surround you, troubles confound you. Cast your cares, pray, oh pray, oh pray. Then it goes back to the chorus. Cast your cares on the Lord. He will sustain you. He will never let the righteous fall. Cast your cares unto the Lord. On the Lord, actually. He will sustain you. He will never let the righteous fall. We get so troubled. We do. Pressure is doubled. We get so troubled. Pressure is doubled. God seems so far away. When storm clouds gather, I'd really rather cast my cares and pray, pray, pray. Okay? So let's try this. I lost my song. Here it is. This is it.
When cares surround you, troubles confound you.
Very good, children. I hope you enjoyed that little song. I thought it was kind of cute because really, God does that. If we cast our cares to God, He'll take care of it, and we can have peace about it because we know if God takes care of it, it's going to be done right. Sometimes when we take care of things and do them ourselves without God's help, it just doesn't turn out the way it should. Done it myself before and didn't consult God, and things just don't turn out always the way they should. But that's how we learn. So you learned about forgiveness this week. You learned about jealousy so far. Don't be jealous. Nope, nope, nope. And remember, God is always with you during bad times. And God wants you to forgive those who are mean to you and do bad things to you. And maybe they just say bad things to you. We just got to forgive them. Ask God to come into their heart. Ask Him to help them understand they're not being right. They're being very bad and unkind. So that's our story for today. Now, tomorrow's story is a story about a little baby, and it's baby Moses. And we're going to learn about baby Moses. And the song that goes with this one, I really, really like. So you tune back in tomorrow to find out what the song is and all about baby Moses. Baby Moses is a special, special baby. Anyway, that's the story for today. And I'll see you tomorrow. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. And Miss Linda just wants you to remember to pray for our president, first responders who are our police officers and our firemen and all of our doctors and nurses and EMS people, our ambulance people. We got to remember that. Please don't forget them in your prayers. And don't forget the sick people. And don't forget the ones who don't know Jesus. Ask God to put someone in their life to teach them about Him. Because it's very important. Very important. So, Miss Linda loves you. And you have the rest of your day to enjoy yourself. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.